Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Sheridan Nichols, and I have Don McGregor from Wellmont with me today. Thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
And we are going to talk about a really, really special camp for children called the Caterpillar Camp, and it really helps for those who are grieving. Is that correct? So tell me a little bit about this camp and when it is, and just give us some details.
Camp Caterpillar is Wellmont Hospice's one-day grief camp for children of school age who have lost someone to death. So we'll be at Stickley Farms down on Beaver Creek Road on Saturday the 25th. And all those who have registered will be welcomed. They'll have a camp buddy, and we'll just have a lot of fun. Children don't grieve like adults. It's better for them to play while they grieve rather than do it our way, which is more intellectual in basis. And we give them a camp buddy, somebody that we've put through some extra training. They go out and they have fun. They might be bouncing in the bounce house. They will be doing craft type projects. They'll be doing some talking in small groups. And the buddy is there just to keep them encouraged. If they open up to a certain point, we have a professional staff ready to step in and offer more support for the child and their family. And at the end of the day, we get mom, dad, and the kids back together, whoever's there, and we have a small memorial service ending with a butterfly release, which is a unique event. And while the kids are out having fun, the adults are up in a class of their own. They spend the day with our adult team, and we're talking to them about how do you help your children grieve, and how do you grieve. So it's an incredible ministry. We've been doing it over 10 years now. And we started with fewer than, well, maybe around 10 children, and we'll hit 50 easily.
Wow.
We'll have over 100 people on the grounds.
Now, do you do this once a year?
Once a year. We try to do it in the spring before Mother's Day. That's always a target. We've moved it around. And once a year is about all we can handle.
I'm sure
It's exhausting.
Yeah, I can only imagine. So, well, how do people sign up?
They can call hospice, or hospice 844-5252. Or they can call the social work line, which is 844-5277.
Okay.
And if they see the street signs that are being put out in yards, it'll have the 5277 number on it. Our team will get back to these people. They can leave a message, and we'll get them the paperwork they need for their child, and then we'll see them on that day.
Now, is there a target age of kids that generally participate?
We target school-age children.
Okay.
Now, that's anywhere from about 4, 5, on up through high school.
Okay, wow. So it's and you'll say there will be about 50 children out there. That's
Easily.
Amazing.
Easily.
And then parents can come and they're sort of doing more of the round circle and different types of activities, and then the kids just sort of hit the grounds and play. What a beautiful location.
Stickley Farms is a beautiful location. We just take over the whole place, and they have been very helpful to us in the past, and they look forward to us coming back.
So when you talk about some of these kids, can it be any type of loss in terms of like immediate family member or extended family member? Are there some requirements?
We look at those who have lost someone through death. Now, that's a pretty broad question, or a pretty broad answer to the question. Normally it'll go out grandparents, uncles, aunts, great aunts. I had one young lady that I actually conveyed her to camp, and she had lost her great aunt. And she's a young teenager. She played all day. But she came home a different person because she knew that it was okay for her to change things. Yeah. And she became the little girl that I'd known for years, and her mother told me the next day at church, I got my girl back.
That's great. And what are some of, I don't even know if you can share all of this with us today, but what would be a way to work with a child? Like you mentioned, they're not going to grieve like us and go to a therapist and go through this critical thinking process. They're going to get out and bounce houses. And then is there a way that you start talking and opening up? I'm sure you've got.
Well, and one of the things I teach the adults is Play-Doh. It's one of my favorite tools. Take Play-Doh. I hand you a can. I may have a can. I say, make something that reminds you of Uncle Bill. And you make something that reminds you of Uncle Bill. Well, why does that remind you of it? Now I've got them in a position to talk.
Gotcha.
And they're sharing a memory. I don't have to correct it if it's not quite accurate, but they're beginning to open up and express. And then they look and say, well, what did you make? I said, well, I made a walking stick. Well, how come? Because Uncle Bill had a daddy. And he had a walking stick, and when I think of that walking stick and your Uncle Bill, it just, my story begins to come out. They know somebody understands story.
Yeah.
That's one I've used personally with great success, and it's fun because many times you can get a child playing and they will talk by distraction.
Right.
Especially boys. If you get a boy down and say, talk to me, tell me how you feel, they're going to, meh. But if you get them playing, they'll tell you almost anything.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Well, that's great. Am I missing anything? Anything that you wanted to add?
Well, I know that our team is ready and they are excited, and we still have quite a few more slots open.
Okay.
As long as we've got children signing up, we will be trying to get staff ready to go. We don't want children in this community to hurt, and I appreciate, and this is a personal statement, I appreciate Wellmont saying, do this. They've said many a time, just take care of our community, and we're glad to do that.
Yeah, it's a great cause. Great camp, the Caterpillar Camp. So now you know where to call and who to go to and what it's for. Well, we appreciate you coming on and talking with us.
Well, thank you. And by the way, I've got a slot open where I think I get one more volunteer in to work at Camp Caterpillar if you are interested.
Perfect.
Our last training is next Tuesday, so let me get you signed up. My boss will be happy.
All righty, I will look at my calendar. That is for sure. Well, thank you so much for being with us, and thank you for being with us, and stay tuned. We'll be right back.